Thank you ever so much for joining me for another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Thank you once again to miskatonicbooks.com for sponsoring the show. I really appreciate Miskatonic Books' support. Miskatonic Books are the #1 international purveyor of esoteric and occult books, difficult to find books that have just been released but have been released abroad or outside of the United States. They bring those in and they make those available to you. If there's a book that you've been looking for and that's you just can't find it, then they've probably got a page for it on their website, and you can put in your email and get a notification as soon as they get it back in stock. So really good stuff from just 3 W's, miskatonicbooks.com. And you can subscribe to their Facebook page. Of course, you can like their Facebook page to find out all their latest books that arrive in stock as it all arrives. And you can see that, for example, there's a couple of really nice new editions, new books, and a couple of very difficult to find books. Actually, this one and this one over here. This is a new book of Citra Acra, so this is very cool stuff from Andy Mercer, and just lots and lots of really nice stuff. And I'll let you discover their website, miskatonicbooks.com. Go and check them out. All right, news from Anathema Publishing. Gabriel McCowie reached out to me just last night saying. Actually, I know I got his message last night. He reached out to me the day before saying that there was a shipment of first edition Hidden Path books, right? Hidden Paths, the book that I wrote and that was kickstarted very successfully, thanks to you all. And some people missed out on it, right? Some of you have already bought the second edition, but some of you, really wanted that first edition. Anyway, the shipment that was due to arrive in Canada to be sold by Anathema Publishing, because they sell many books that are not just Anathema Publishing books, and I really recommend going to check out all of the books that they do have in stock. Well, that shipment of about 30 books got lost, and it was believed that it would never arrive because, it was several months, right? And so Anathema asked Black Letter Press to send them a new batch. They sent the new batch expressed so that it would arrive very fast. Well, that missing shipment seems to have just arrived. It seems to have been shipped on a very slow boat instead of taking airmail, and it's just arrived. And so there are a bunch of first edition Hidden Paths books. If any of you are interested in getting a first edition, maybe some of you missed out on the first edition and you'd like a numbered edition with a signed card, then this is an opportunity to do that at the original price, right? At the original, it's Canadian dollars. Please remember that everything on Anathema Publishing is shown first of all in Canadian dollars. I think you can adjust things so that you can see it in US dollars or whatever, but yes, Canadian dollars. And actually, this is one of the themes of Anathema Publishing's new newsletter, which arrived just today, I think, talking about the many out of stock, difficult to acquire books from abroad and so on. And they were pointing out that actually, while the books are priced in Canadian dollars, the shipping is usually to the US. The shipping is usually from 12 Canadian dollars to 17 Canadian dollars, which is the equivalent of $9 US to $13 US. So yes, actually not bad at all. Okay. Of course, some titillating updates on the upcoming books, and some promise that there's going to be another newsletter very soon. So very excited about that. Okay, do go and check out the the new arrivals at Anathema Publishing, the new non-Anathema Publishing arrivals, right? For example, a load of Black Letter Press books, Hadean Press books, the Hekateon, and many others, right? The Terra Volatile and so on. Okay, good stuff. News from Troy Books. They have a January sale on some of their books, and they've actually got just an area in their catalogue, right? If you hover over catalogue on their website and just head to January sale, you'll be able to see all the books that are included in that sale. And there's some really good ones. For example, Nigel G. Pearson's latest book, Blackthorn, Whitethorn. There's really a lot of really, really cool books. For me, the one that's of interest, well, I mean, I already own a number of these. I think that if I didn't already own the Black Toad, I would probably want that. The Book of Talismans is very interesting to me. And let me see, there was, this is such a good book, Treading the Mill, such a good book. Anyone interested in traditional witchcraft? And you can see, I mean, there's they're all wonderful, wonderful books. But yeah, the other one that I was interested in, I'm not going to, yeah, I think I've missed it. But anyway, a lot of very, very cool looking books, right? Yeah, maybe this traditional witchcraft by Gemma Gary. Very, very nice stuff. All right, let's move on to news from Credo Quia Absurdum. Yeah, they put out this post this morning talking about their plans for 2024, talking about possibly a New Year sale on their website, selling out their minor damaged books during a day or so, possibly doing the same for some of their damaged decks as well. Any of you who would like a discount deck and you don't mind them, you know, with slight bumps on the corners and of the boxes and so on. And now they're also talking about the possibility of a collector edition of the deck. However, reading a little bit further, it looks like they're looking specifically at the Major Arcana cards in big size. That could be really very, very cool. I mean, they're very frameable pictures. You know the Terra Volatile cards. I've talked about them regularly, and it's my deck of choice. It's the deck that I use with clients. It's the deck that I use most regularly now. It's completely replaced the Rider-Waite Smith deck that I had previously been using. This is all I use. It's just so beautiful, so esoterically complex and complete. Very, very happy with this deck. And it's just gorgeous. And they're also talking about a pocket edition of their book. And I got an email last night asking me if I would write the foreword for their pocket book. So I'm very, very flattered. Thank you so much, Terra Volatile. Excuse me, Credo Quia Absurdum. Of course, I would love to write a foreword for your pocket travel companion. So this would be a book without any illustrations, but as I talked about in my top books of 2023, the book has got so much esoteric detail, so much information for the beginner practitioner as well as the advanced practitioner. There's lots of really, really nice ideas in there. Yeah, it's quite a lot of bang for your buck. So yes, I think that the idea of a pocket edition, just a more what's the word that I'm looking for? Just easier to manipulate, right? Just easier to grab and maybe pop into your bag. Yeah, I think that's a really, really nice idea. Of course, the original book is the one that's got all the artwork in nice big size, and you can see all the detail, and it's wonderful. But yeah, it's possibly a nice idea to have that companion book as a smaller edition with only the information. Could be quite cool. So yeah, head over to their Facebook page and let them know in the comments what you think of those ideas. Good stuff. All of that linked down below, of course. Hadean Press have put out a newsletter talking about an estate sale for Nigel Fisher's book. So Nigel Fisher passed away quite recently, I believe, and leaving behind quite a large library of occult related and themed books. So Nigel Fisher was clearly mostly interested in chaos magic, Thelema, Norse magic, and more, we're told. Yeah, if we just click on the link over here, then we can actually see some of the books that are available. Some of them are already sold, some of them are not. You'll be able to see that there are quite a few really nice ones. I've been kind of tempted by the Robert Anton Wilson books a little bit further down. Lots and lots of Thelema, as you can see, lots of Aleister Crowley and so on. But yeah, some good stuff there, I think. Yeah, the Cosmic Triggers 1, 2, and 3 are still available, and yeah, as you can see, some really good books. Not all of them are still available, and I suppose that's kind of the point, isn't it? Is to sell these books. All right, good stuff. What else do we have? News. Yeah, so this is Josephine Winter's latest book, Witchcraft Discovered. The reason I wanted to point this one to you, you'll notice that this is actually amazon.com.au, and the reason I'm showing this to you on the Australian Amazon is because this is a book that takes into consideration practitioners in the Southern Hemisphere. That isn't it's not something that happens very often. You know, I have many people in the Southern Hemisphere, in Australia, in New Zealand, who regularly reach out to me saying, listen, is it okay for me to practice this, you know, in the way that it's described in the, for example, in the Golden Dawn book? Should I swap things around, etc., etc.? And in truth, it's not really something that I've ever needed to consider for myself, and so it's not really something that I have any opinion on. But Josephine Winter lives in the Southern Hemisphere, and it is something that has affected her personally and directly. And so she has written this book with the Southern Hemisphere practitioner in mind. Of course, it's readable by absolutely anyone, but it also caters for the Southern Hemisphere practitioner, and I really like that. I think that it's a massive gap in the market, and I think that this is just a really lovely idea, available in paperback and as Kindle. You can find it, of course, on the other Amazons around the world. Yeah, I thought I'd show it to you on the Australian one, because why not? There we go. Yeah, nice stuff. And yeah, if you do read it and you enjoy it, then go ahead and leave a comment and a review, so that other people can know, how this has been helpful or whatever. Let me just check, because this is out on the 15th of January, so in like 4 days at the time of recording, as a paperback. But let me just check the Kindle edition. The Kindle edition is already available, right? So for those of you who would like to pick up the Kindle edition, you can do so right now. Very cool. Okay, news from David Shoemaker. So David Shoemaker is one of the one of the foremost figures in modern day Thelema, other than possibly Lon Milo Duquette, and he's written a good number of books, and many people approaching Thelema for the first time very often go through his books, right? I know for my part, living Thelema was a big part of my starting to understand some of the ideas of Thelema. And he has a new book that is due out on May 6th. That's very nice to know. It's called Thelema in Action, The Way of the Will. There we go. The Way of the Will, explores how the spiritual discipline of Thelema, founded by Aleister Crowley, can be utilized to enhance your psychological and spiritual growth. The book grew out of the author's own teachings and experiences, podcast episodes, classes, and of course many years of personal practice and supervision of other initiates. It is a compendium of useful tools and perspectives designed to serve as one of many useful guides in the magician's library. There we go. I probably imagine that many people will be very, very interested in this one. And then I just wanted to point you guys to this one. Another big congratulations to Sarah Mastros. The Sorcery of Solomon is in positions number 1 and number 2 in new releases in occultism. So that's wonderful. The paperback over here, and then the Kindle edition over here. I'm really looking forward to receiving my hard copy, which is on its way. But you know, shipping from the US can take a very long time. I just today received my copy of the Hekateon, which was sent like 2 months ago. So yeah, it's going to take a little while, I think. But I have been reading the PDF, and it's fantastic. And yeah, I think Sarah really deserves well, to be in the first and second place in new releases in occultism. That's really great news. Okay, let's find some more news. These are pins from Torvenius.store, and I'm afraid I can't remember who pointed me towards these. Some very kind soul reached out to me on Facebook and said, hey, I think you might be interested in this. And I've had a look around, and yeah, there's some really good stuff, but these pins are absolutely wonderful. This is Dante's Inferno as a little pewter pin. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And if you have a look at, you know, some of these, I think you might agree that they're very cool. I think there's Stolas at some point down here. Look at this lovely Death's Head moth. I'm sorry. Sharing is caring, medieval torture. Some of it's a little bit silly, clearly. But yes, here we go. A little Stolas pin. Great Prince of Hell. There we go. Somebody pointed out, was it Mama Raven who pointed out that Stolas is able to take on any form that Stolas wants to take, and so clearly it has chosen. It chooses to appear as an owl with very long legs. I think that's wonderful. Given the choice, wouldn't you? Right. So yeah, very cool. I think there's some really nice ideas here. Clearly, somebody has got some good ideas. Simply, I'd be surprised if, you know, regardless of your tastes, I'd be very surprised if there wasn't something here that caught your attention. And there's pages and pages of them. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Really nice. All right, I'll stop scrolling because I could go on all day. Links down in the description, of course. So this was something that was also pointed out to me on Facebook, and it's just a little bit weird. Okay, so here's the thing. So the Jagiellonian University in Krakow has been hosting these talks for several years. The last one, however, was 2017, and there's a new one that is I'm not going to find it now. Great, perfect. Oh no, I'd set it all up so that it would be very clear what's going on. Here we go. Maybe this one. Here we are. So this call for papers happened back in whenever it was, October, maybe September, for the theory and methods in the study of Greek ritual terminology. And so I went over to this website, which is from the University of Bologna, who are kind of advertising this, and I found their page on Facebook, and I clearly lost that page. I thought I was going to be able to show it to you, but I'll leave a link to it in the description. And yeah, the event is actually happening in January. I think it's like the 25th to 28th of January in Krakow. And I just can't find, for the life of me, I cannot find any information anywhere of whether this is open to the public, whether you could just walk in, whether you have to pay to get in, whether you have to be a scholar, like a student or a professor or whatever, to be allowed to get in and things like this. Absolutely no idea. But the topics covered are, well, they just look very interesting, right? The website that is clearly linked to it, right? If you go to their Facebook page that actually put out this call for papers, it's called something like, yeah, here we go, Animal Sacrifice in Ancient Greece. They've got a Facebook page, and like their latest post is 2017, and one more post from like couple of months ago, right, talking about this, maybe even a couple of weeks ago, talking about the contents of this upcoming conference on Greek ritual, right? Yeah. It sounds very, very interesting. It sounds like something worth investigating further. It sounds like something that might be worth reaching out to them and saying, hey, do you actually want people turning up to this thing or not? Because maybe they don't. You know, that's possibly a thing as well. I think they intend to publish a book containing the contents of the talks that are going to happen, right? Of the actual papers that have been written, that are going to be proposed during that conference. Anyway, sounds, yeah, as I say, possibly something to look into. You can and I think it might be in English. Anyway, very little information. Okay, my board game of the week is this one. This was pointed out to me as a meme. and yeah, and a little bit of further digging shows that it's an actual real thing. It's a Jesus Ouija board. It's just the most bizarre thing that I've seen in a long time. There we go. I thought you might get a laugh. There we go. Thank you ever so much for watching the show. I'm still doing one-to-one chats. I'm still doing tarot readings. I'm still if you want to have a conversation with me, if you want to spend an hour just having a chat about whatever's on your mind, if you're looking for recommendations, if you're looking for particular direction for your specific situation, I can give you some pointers and so on. But yeah, if you've got specific questions that can be answered by me, then wonderful. If these are rather questions about your life and you'd like to dig into the tarot or the I Ching to get some answers that can point you into a more helpful direction, things like this, then that's what I'm here for as well. The links for one-to-one chats with me, one-to-one video conference chats, right? It's all in the description and in the pinned comment, right? So you can just head over there. Make sure that you pick the correct time zone, right? So you pick your time zone in the time zone picker, and then you'll be able to see all the times that I'm available in your local time, right? So you get an idea of when you're going to need to be online with me. And then you receive a Google calendar invitation, and in that calendar invitation there's the link to then join for the online chat. The chat happens on Google Meet, which is it's just the simplest, most straightforward conferencing system. Like, I've found that if I use Zoom, people always spend the first 5 minutes going, oh, sorry, let me re-log in, let me just check, I can't hear you, or sorry, my microphone's not working, it's not associated properly, etc., etc. The same thing with Skype, etc., etc. Google Meets seems to just work. There's usually, the worst thing that happens is that people have to unmute themselves. So that's why we use Google Meet, and it's just very, very smooth. Click on the link and you're there. So that's what I use. What else? What else? Yeah, if you'd like to support the channel, if you're not already a member, then the Patreon is really the best way to do that. There are different levels, but all of the levels give you access to the Foolish Fish Discord. Come and chat with other Foolish Fish members about all the magic. 300, yeah, over 300 now, different channels, different topics on magical stuff. And yeah, and I think that's about it for now. I've been in this new location now for 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks, about a week and a half, and we're coping really well. All of the walls are down. The floors from the central area are off. We're keeping the floors in the places where the floors can be saved. So in the living room, right, in the room where I have all my books, in our bedroom and in my son's bedroom, and in the central area where we've taken all the floorboards off because there's just gouges everywhere where the walls used to be, right? So it isn't just a uniform floor. So and it doesn't make sense to keep hardwood in a high traffic area with a child around. So we're going to replace that with something a little bit more practical. But yes, we are being able to save those beautiful floorboards. Well, we're going to have to resurface them, of course, and just make them look as nice as they probably were originally. So that's the idea. Yeah, thank you very, very much for those of you who have been supporting the channel, because you're making this possible, right? Yes, it is a little bit uncomfortable for the next 3-4 months, but it's going to be so worth it, and I'm just really, really grateful to all of you who have been booking chats with me and who have been supporting me through the Patreon and through YouTube memberships. Thank you very, very much. It means a huge amount. So there we go. That's the news from me for today. Please look after yourselves and each other, and see you very soon with another video. Take care. Bye bye.